Thank you for your patience. It's been a trying day based on a epic failure of technology and then a mysterious, just random recovery. Yay! I love the inconsistency. Thank you for developing Windows. All right, so today is the 7th of January, 2016. Was that right, eh? Usman says sometimes you just need to restart. Yeah, how about restarting 33 times and getting 3 or 4 different errors? It even bombed out in safe mode. Who bombs out in safe mode? So then I did the, reset. Anyways, let's just get going. Who cares about the Trail of Tears? So good morning, good-looking people. Welcome to Forex.Today. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. So please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne McDonald. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for Traders Way, an ECN that gives you access to the Forex interbanking system, passes your trades right in there for you quickly, efficiently, and affordably. We also give you access to other markets as well. We do these sessions every day, 7:30 in the morning here at Forex.Today, every Friday at fxstreet.com, and you may also be watching the video on YouTube. You're a big fat lame-o if you don't give it a like or leave a comment. You can also just visit us at Forex.Today, register, and you'll be good in the hood. Okay, let's go around the world, around the world, around the world. Around the world, come on, empty four. Hello? Wow, boy, that was slow, huh? All right, so let's take a look. We'll start on gold here. A lot of tensions in the world. A lot of uncertainties in the world, more of a stock market decline in Asia. You know, the press makes a big deal out of that, but the market is so manipulated to begin with that what do you expect? So I don't see it as a barometer for anything. So anyway, so the stock market falls, great, but I don't think it's truly like I said, a canary in the coal mine for the global economy. If you want to fix China, fix Europe. How about that? That's my opinion. So anyways, when there's uncertainty, though, again, price wars between Saudi Arabia and Iran and all kinds of other things going on between them. All right, uncertainty with China. I mean, when you get limit down locks, so quickly, it's just not a good thing, So in situations like that, especially the geopolitical stuff, like North Korea claiming to have tested a a hydrogen bomb, that kind of stuff tends to lead to gold strength. It hasn't been a lot, but I think probably about 8 trades were made in here. This little move upward. Skippity scalpy. because it's not something that I want to be in long term, but it's just sort of something that you have to do during global macroeconomics or geopolitical risk, right? So anyways, lots of little, skippy scalpies along the way. Boop, 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 boop. But I don't think there's a change in trend. I think it's just, what's happening at the moment. Let's take a look at oil. What do you think about this? Do you remember doing this trade plan? I had shown you how to do a similar trade plan here, and then on a higher time frame, like a 4-hour and a daily, and then we did it on the 5-minute, and then we zoomed it on here. And if you recall, in here I was goofing, like I said, oh, Wayne, all you talk about is what happens in the past. Why don't you do something in the future? So I'm like, okay, here's the trade plan. It's made a new low. It's going to pull back. You should sell it and down. All right, didn't go quite as far, but you get the idea, right? Down, pull back, down, pull back, down, pull back. And you just rinse and repeat over and over and over again, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, until it stops. The trend will continue forever until it stops. I think my initial entry here was 38 or 38.50, whatever it was. So anyways, now we're at 33. Fine, good, sweet. Okay, but you see how simple it is? Breaks out below, pull back, sell. That's all it is. It's just trading in the direction of the trend. Don't make a big deal of it, but don't trade against it, right? Around the world, around the world. So what do you think about this pig? This is the beast here, the Great British Pound versus the Japanese yen. Hourly chart. It's been a nice trip, huh? All right, well, a couple things need to be updated, or certainly this. This needs to be updated. Okay. And remember the key number on pound dollar was 150. Well, we're now down near 145, 146 kind of handles, and clearly through that now. So this should keep its epic run going. Yeah, Maria's been selling the pig for months now. Yeah, as you should, right? And I guess we'll cover that in a little bit. But I think what might happen in the future, or how about this? If this happens in the future, then I'm going to do this. Okay? Okay, that's all. So again, this is a 4-hour. Let me back out. Let me go to daily. It's probably more evident there. So do you see where we are? Does that seem like it could be support to you? If you go back into this congestion, comes across, right? So if that acts as support, then we may get a pullback, right, like this, and therefore I would sell the retracement. Okay, and it looks like it's a 4-hour setup anyways, because I would measure from here to here or here to here with a fib, like this, let's say. Zoop, 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 doop, doop, doop. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking there. So that's the beast. Let's go do the pig, since they're related. Yeah, Richard, I believe the North Korean worms, they gave up. They threw the white flag. They surrendered. You got us. Although you can't break a worm's back, right? But they do give up. So here we are on the pig. Looks like 146 is a nice little sell zone. Okay, you see, old support becomes resistance, kick it off the 21. Okay. Generally, I'd like to have a little bit more of an elevated stochastics, so let's put like a 50 mark. Around the world, around the world. Around the world. All right, let's just do it this way, 50. Okay, so that's halfway between the oscillator, right? That's the midpoint on the oscillator. And you could see these previous pullbacks to the 21. This one was to the 75 line, right? This one was to the 70 line. This one was to the 65 or 70 line. This was to the 60 line. And we're almost there now, but you know, we're not even we're not even to the 50 yet. So you know, I don't know. I'm just saying it could be a couple of hours yet, but the general thought is this, unless it's reversing. Okay. But this fits the plan beautifully, doesn't it? You're like, Wayne, what plan? I don't like planning my trades. It's cumbersome. Let's back out. Look at this nice setup I did for you guys. Yeah, you're welcome. It's gone from the 382 to the 2618. Wow. The bigger plan, though, I guess I got to go to the 4 hour. So that's the plan, and this is actually the zone. Now watch this. Use your bionic eyes. Look at this. Holy smokes, eh? Right there, huh? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, that's what we talked about in August. That the theory is that technically this can fall another 1,000 pips. And I've already marked it, as you guys know, because we've done this, I don't know, 100 times. Okay, so we're on our way to 136, I think it is, based on technical analysis only. There's a small bird that sits on my shoulder every day, and maybe it's the type of bird you want to kill, but it sits on my shoulder and says, you know, things are going to improve over the next 3 months as far as economic data for the Great British Pound. And if it does, wouldn't this be an epic double bottom? Let's try this. Will this be an epic double bottom? Question mark? Pachow! Okay. Other than that, like you can see just over and over and over and over again, we've had nothing but selling opportunities. Down, pullback, sell, 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 down. You know, I kind of want that pattern to continue. Don't you stink? Look how simple it is. Simple, simple. Loufle tout le monde. Right, so that's what I said, Richard. So if we get the data, well, how about this? What I said in March or April or May or June, what I said in the first half of 2015 was based on the way that a lot of the year-over-year economic data is calculated, that there's a high propensity for, or let's say a high probability that we're going to get much better than expected data out of the UK. And if that occurs and we get much better, let's say, GDP numbers, people are going to say, holy smokes, look at the GDP in the UK. Hello, hello, hello. Right? And all of a sudden we get an epic recovery in the Great British Pound. Now, I know I only gave you 7 or 8 months to prepare, and as you're on the ball in this one, so it's still an if-then statement. If that proves true, right? Because it's only a hypothesis. It's not a prediction. It's a hypothesis. So I paid attention to how the fundamentals are calculated. So if the numbers do come out better than expected, I think at least the short might be challenged, right? Right? We got to keep our eyes on the prize, right? So it's still an if-then statement. We don't even have the if. Yeah, so Marcia says that NFP will be positive. There's no reason to think otherwise. Right? I'm more interested in the trend than people's opinions. There's no reason why it should be bad. It'll be on trend. ADP says it could be better than expected, but I don't pay attention to that. What do we want to do? Let's look at the yen-yens. Yen-yens. Yeah, that's the name of my panda, Kevin. I want to be like Mike Tyson, but they wouldn't give me a tiger. So I said, well, I'll take the panda. Cool. I have a beware of panda sign on my front lawn. Well, what's going on here? Let's get rid of that. That failed, huh? Yeah. 4 hour, nice little, right? Very nice. In this case, it's really out there. Not much to do now, I would say. Typically, I want to see the retracement back into the roll reversal. That's the first thing I think of. So I'm already thinking this will 786. But if you're an aggressive bull, right? You're bear. If you're an aggressive bear, you're super confident in this. I would look either to short now, but not at this price, not necessarily now, but at this price. And what you're doing is you're waiting for the 4 hour 21 to drop. So maybe, non-farm payrolls, this comes down and then you make it to the next level. If you're using price action, what would be better than meeting up at the 21 would be meeting up here and, kick off this 129 area. Okay. Something like that. 129 to 126. Yeah, there's two things that typically happen in the first quarter of the year. And, again, I talked about this 6 months ago, so it's not like a surprise at all. In the first 2 or 3 weeks of January, very often you get carry trade unwinds. Just, I don't know, it just happens. I don't know, it's just the way of the world. It's just, maybe it's year-end, it's tax avoidance, profit taking and stuff and whatever, but it's just normal, right? Absolutely normal. Very often, if I'm holding large portfolio of yen longs, when I'm long pound yen, euro yen, Aussie yen, Kiwi yen, anything with a yen on the right, if that portfolio gets busted out, and I mean not just like some trades get knocked out, but the whole thing comes out, that'll happen in the second or third week of January. So that's usually the Monday after non-farm payrolls is when I'm on red alert. Well, so far we've had a pretty significant unwind in the first week of January, not the second week of January. Well, I'm sorry, I only gave you 7 months heads up. So I'm a few days off, but with 7 months worth of warning, right? So there's that. And then very often that stabilizes, and then sometimes you even get another. The yen pairs go back up for a while, not making higher highs. And then the second part of the first quarter, you get the repatriation flows, which means new yen strength. So I don't think this is going to be strong all the way to April. I think it'll fall next week. Could be another bad week if you're trying to be long yen pairs. I wouldn't try to catch. What did I say yesterday or the day before? Right? I don't like trying to catch a falling knife, but I definitely don't even try to catch a falling chainsaw. A yen unwind, right, is a falling chainsaw. Forget it. Right? So anyways, this can come down for a while, and then I think it'll stabilize, and then it'll probably go up for a while, and then we'll have the repatriation flows, and then it'll get strong, and then it'll probably consolidate for 6 months, but meanwhile, I'll build up positions, and then it'll take off again in the second half of next year. At least that's the idea, and I'll make a ton of money, and whatever. It's just like, I don't know. It's what we do, right? It's like, if you're a dairy farmer, it's making milk is easy. Well, what we do, we're currency traders. Just as easy. All right. So that's the euro yen. I'm not really interested in buying that. It's an easy sell. CAD, there's another one. Not really interested in buying it until we see some sort of technical reversal on oil. And we're on our way down to 32 and 30, and, who knows? It's not my job to predict the bottom. I couldn't care less. When the market wants to reverse it, then I'll just have to reverse my my trades because the reversal of money flows. Remember, this is not a guessing game, right? And it's not a contest like, I picked the bottom better than you. What's my joke about picking bottoms? The strategy stinks. Yep. So I don't care about stuff like that, right? It's such an amateur thing to worry about. So I would rather, see a complete reversal in trend, and then I'll just trade that for, as long as I understand the fundamentals behind it and believe it'll continue. Right? So is this going to happen? No. Not probably not today. It could, right? But probably not today. So why would I even think about it? Right? See what I mean? We are at a monthly reversal pivot. That's why it's dark. And it's funny how it collapsed so quickly and then stopped exactly on the pivot, right? So this whole area right here, let me highlight this. Okay, this area here, that's the predicted bottom for the month for CAD yen. But again, it's early in the month, right? Eduardo says, how do you know when the market's reversing? Well, it's easier to say that, you don't know it's reversing, let's say. I mean, there should be a lot of understanding that you're coming up to a reversal zone and this is where it could reverse. So then if you see certain price action, you could say to yourself, it's probably reversing because this is where it should reverse. There's that thing. But let's say let's discount that completely. the reversal is then when you get the reversal pattern. Or something like this. Okay, is this a higher high? Would you say if the market did this, the market's reversed? No. No, it's still bearish, right? What about this? Yeah, because it made a high higher than this, then I'm going to think about buying something like that. And I would try to buy this. Right? So how should I draw this? Like that is what I'd be thinking. Usman, just Google or search on YouTube for Forex.Today, and then subscribe to the channel. You'll be good as gold. I think it is. It says it is to me, so hopefully it is. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm thinking would act as a reversal. Okay, I need this high to be higher than that high, and if so, I'm going to buy the retracement, and off we go. Hot to go, HOTTOGO. Is that an okay way to visualize it? Is that some sort of Gartley pattern? Yeah, if that makes you feel comfortable, sure. I look at it as a simple 1, 2, 3. Okay, higher high, higher low, gone. Okay. Whatever it makes you comfortable, call it what you want to call it. Don't matter to none. All right, so anyways, there's that. But that's probably going to continue falling until it stops falling. You understand the logic? I'm not saying it's going to reverse. Someone asked me, how would I know it's reversing? That's how I'd look at it. USD yen. Cuts like a knife, feels so right. Here we are. Beautiful moves. After 6 months of consolidation, we're back to the bottom. Back to the bottom, back to the bottom. Oof, life. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, where do we go from here, right? I don't know. I wouldn't sell it here. That's faux show. Let's go out to a daily. And that's it. It's been a good run. Nice move, huh? This thing was at 78. Did you buy it? Did you buy it at 98? Did you buy it at 108? Amazing, huh? Beautiful stuff. But one thing I want to point out where a lot of amateur Forex traders, or if not all amateur Forex traders, what happens is they get caught in scenarios like this, right? And, that's like a year. and you give up. And then it happens, and then you're like, oh man. Well, Usman asked, why is it the yen so weak over the last few years? Well, quantitative easing helps. Yeah, the Bank of Japan gave this to you. It was beautiful. So for those that have been hanging with me for a long time, during this consolidation period between these two lines, in particular this area here, I mean, we just completely nailed this and destroyed it. But I spent 6 months building up a position, then it took off, right? But you see this dip? I know it doesn't look like much, but I'm giving you years of data, right? Let's see if I can still see it if I give it one click in. Yeah, see this little drop in here? This is the beginning of 2014. It's kind of like what's happening now, right? So I said, you see this, there's a dip and then consolidation and then breakout at the end of the year. And that's what I just said actually that's what I said August of this year, May of this year, or sorry, last year, that could happen. I think my actual target was 125 on this. And then who knows, right? Well, in this case, it did nothing for 6 months, and then it's lost all its weakness, so yen is strong again, as it seems to do this time of year. And then we'll have a little fake move, and then a little drop back, and then we'll probably just consolidate for a while. And what did I say? Yeah, over July and August, maybe I'll build a large portfolio of yen short positions. And by December, I'm a hero. But what happens, though, what happens to the amateur trader, since they're only day trading and stuff, what happens is you just kind of give up. And you're like, USD yen? Nothing happens on USD yen. That's like the worst. And then you just miss this huge thing. But I'll tell you, if you were hanging with me, we nailed this one. And then the one at 105, right? We nailed this one too. Like a bajillion pips. But it took us 6 months to set it up. And I begged, I pleaded, and in this area, in this August area, I actually asked people on August 1st of that month, I begged them not to take profit, just to say, throw yourself on the mercy of the court and say, I'm not even going to try to make pips in the entire month of August. We are not going to shoot at rabbits. Is there anybody here from that time going over this idea of we're not shooting at rabbits, we're only going to take a trade, move it to break even, take another trade, move it to break even, take another trade, move it to break even, and just no attempt. Even if you're up 50 pips, it doesn't matter. We're not going to take the profit. We're only going to build a portfolio because on the third week of August, it's going to take off. And on the third week of August, it took off for the rest of the year. Right? Not for, 50 pips here, 30 pips there, 15 pips, but for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pips on dozens of trades. So the goal in here, I asked people, if you, over the course of July and in particular August, if you could get 20 trades, or even 12 trades, I think it was, at break even, ready for the explosion, then you're putting yourself, in the game to make not, a couple of hundred pips, but a couple of thousand pips. And so the whole training I gave in here was about portfolio management. So anyways, I'm just saying it's all logical, intelligent, and it happens, right? History doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. So, again, if you're shocked that the Japanese yen got strong, then you ignored everything I told you in December and in November and October and September. Cool. Aussie yen. Now, this is interesting to me. You know what? Let me skip this one. Let me skip this one. I want to go to Aussie Dollar because this is the one I've been talking about. I don't know. This is another one that's been like 6 months, right? And for about 6 months, it was sitting around 72, 71, and it was fabulously interesting because nobody was selling it anymore. We knew that from the Commitment of Traders report. And maybe there was a bastion of hope, from somewhere. Maybe their trade balance was going to improve. The tone at the RBA potentially was changing, so on and so forth. But long story short, the test of 70 gave us a huge bounce. I think it went to 69.50 or something, right? And then skyrocketed back all the way up to 73 and seemed to stay there for months on end. I thought, you know what? It's fabulously interesting because I didn't sort of see it coming that we were going to stop falling. See, I can't even get it on a decent chart. Okay, but it seemed like it was trying to reverse. Well, sure enough, we're back at the scene of the crime. And here's the big bottom. But just its behavior was really interesting. It was something I really had to ponder. And there was a time when I was buying some Aussie Swiss franc just to see how it would go. Maybe somebody knew something about Australia, not necessarily Australia, but the macroeconomics of it. But now if you go back to this 4-hour chart looking at what we've done over a longer period of time, it doesn't seem that dramatic at all, does it? It just seems like we went to the top of the range and now we're on our way back to the bottom of the range, right? Seems like business as usual, right? But I thought this move off of the bottom, right, and then back up, and then down, and then back up, and it looked like maybe we're going to go to 75, and that would be a higher high from this one, which would get us back down to 73, and then maybe up, and it looked like maybe there was hope for a potential reversal. Well, we've just very quickly moved back down to the bottom of the range. I mean, what do I mean by quickly? Well, it took us 6 months to get up and 6 days to get back down. 6 months up, 6 days down. Wow, holy smokes. So, okay, if you're a bear, good. But we're approaching a cautionary zone, right? We're at 69 and some change, right? We're basically just breaching 70 as we speak. And the ultimate bottom is 69. I don't know what to expect from this, guys. But this idea of the global macroeconomic stuff is kicking in. So yesterday we talked a bit about flight to quality and risk on, risk off. Right? And we talked about moving from riskier assets to more conservative assets. And the examples I gave were like U.S. Treasuries and Japanese government bonds, right? JGBs. You should put JGB in your vernacular. It impresses your friends, right? When you're at the barbecue on the weekend. They're like, hey, how's the Forex thing going? You're like, oh, man, I've been tracking JGBs all week. It's just amazing, the flight to quality. So I've been risk-offing all week. And they're like, what the heck are you talking about? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, Japanese government bonds. Yeah. Oh, sorry, dude. Sorry. That's just, I don't know. That's what I do. That's what I eat and breathe, man. But straight shot down, huh? Incredible. And that's money coming out of Australia. Remember, there was no reason to buy it, but everyone had stopped selling it. Well, you get some nuclear bombs going on, and you got some price wars and commodities going on, and whatever. And all of a sudden, people are like, you know what? I don't want to take the risk. Give me my money back, and that's all it is. Yeah, DeBeast says that you could relate it to China, and I suppose that's true, right? But when was China recovering, right? So like this period where of stabilization was occurring during China cutting interest rates, China cutting the RRR, China devaluing the currency, China's stock market collapse, whatever. I mean, nothing's really changed. Okay? One major issue is money is flowing out of China very, very quickly. Did you know in like the last, I'm trying to remember the stat I heard. I think in the last 3 months, like $500 billion has been pulled out of China by investors. Not like foreign direct investment type stuff, not stock market guys, but like real money. Okay. But anyways, we're coming up to a key area, and I think we're ripe for a little bounce. If you're going to be like a trader versus an investor, investor's going to look at it much longer term. But I think just by virtue of this area, it'll come down to 69, and I don't know, bounce 50 to 100 pips only because it's support. And then it comes down to your alpha. What do you do next? Do you sell off of here? Right? Where's the next level of resistance? Here. See, trading should be easy for you guys if you have a plan. So you need to decide before you do anything whether you're a bull or a bear. If you're a bear, you say, okay, well, let this fall to support. It's going to retrace. And then I'm going to sell it at one of three areas. Or all three areas, whatever, right? You're going to look for this is a 4-hour chart, so maybe on a 15-minute or an hourly chart, you're going to look for a reversal pattern at the first line, at the second line, at the third line, and if you see one, you're going to take the shot. That's how you trade. And if you're right, you're going to make money. And if you're wrong, most likely you won't see reversal patterns here. What if it goes straight through? Up to 73. Well, that's why they invented stop losses, right, Usman? Right? So like, let's say you thought, well, let's go to a 15-minute chart now, okay? And, well, it's not going to draw properly, but let's say it retraced back up to one of your areas and gives you a reversal pattern. Okay, you following me, Usman? So this, let's say there's a resistance line right at this peak, and you said, I wonder if it's going to reverse. I wonder if it's going to reverse. And it does this. Right? You sell, right? So where's your stop? I don't know. How about here? So 73, like what you said, what if it goes all the way to 73? Well, we're talking about selling at what, 70, 71. What if it goes all the way to the top of the range? Well, something like this would occur, and you would lose, 35, 40 pips. You're not going to lose 300 pips or 400 pips, right? And then DeBeasta says, well, what if it just drops like a ton of bricks with two hammers on it and just goes straight, from straight down to 70? Well, it's going to break through support then, right? So let's go back to the 4-hour. It's going to break through support. How do you do a breakout trade? So remember, I don't want you to guess. Guess is for losers. Because you cannot be consistent guessing. The only way you can be consistent is to have the control over your trade plans. right? So in that case, what if it breaks through, just breaks through the support at 69? Good. That only sets me up for a breakout trade. See, now I'm in control of my behavior. I don't know if it's going to break this level. Who cares? But if it bounces, maybe there's a little scalp. And then what? Probably up to resistance, in which maybe I'll look to sell again. Fine. I mean, it just gives me options. But what if it just cuts through this support level like a hot knife through butter because the data and the risk, or, there's a conflict now in North Korea again, and, I don't know, just all hell breaks loose. It can happen. Good, let it break. What do I care? I don't have an emotional attachment to this 69 area, right? I just had that joke last time we were down there, right? I said, boy, I don't want to see a double bottom at 69, and then I realized how funny that sounded. But besides that, it's meaningless. So if it breaks through, great. Cuts right through that level, wait for the pullback, and then sell the retracement. It's, I don't care about this area. I only care what happens after we test that area. Right? So do I believe? And there's no belief. There's no, look, there's 9 million reasons why the Aussie dollar should be weak right now. It makes sense to me. It's always made sense to me. Let me give you one basic fact. The Australian economy is based on exporting commodities to the rest of the world. It represents 70% of their economy. And yet Australia imports more than it exports. And Australia doesn't import that much, which just means nobody is buying their iron ore, no one is buying their coal, no one is buying their gold, no one is buying their diamonds, no one is buying their beef, no one's buying their wine, no one is buying their wheat. Holy smokes! The balance of trade is redonkulous, guys. Oh yeah, well, sell the Aussie dollar. The only thing maybe that was interesting in here, it was the fact that even though it's fallen 3,000 pips over the last few years, and we nailed it, a bajillion pips out of that, the only interesting thing is it still has a giant positive yield differential versus other currencies. Okay? But other than that, this is bad, right? So I just thought this was sort of intellectually interesting. Was the fact that the Fed was raising interest rates a good thing? Have we bottomed out was the big question. Is the world ready to accept 70 as the exchange rate? Will lack of yield in other places make the Aussie dollar more attractive? I mean, they do have a stable economy relative to many others, and stable government and all this kind of stuff. It's not a bad country to invest in, right? So was it worth the risk to pick up the yield? And for a while it was, but then all these geopolitical risks have kicked in, and it's dropped back down to the bottom. Good. So somewhere near the bottom, you either buy it or you sell it. You got to have a plan and be hot to go, HOTTOGO. And that's it, but there's no guessing. There's no need to guess. Just create a plan, Stan. Yeah, Alex needs the wine sales. Yeah, well, you tell me, how are you doing in wine sales then? Well, I guess if you're selling to Americans, it's probably good. Yeah, the thing about Australia is that the stuff they sell is fabulous. Their beef is great. The wheat is great. The iron ore and coal is top of the line. Diamonds are fantastic. The wine in Australia is fantastic. I had a Shiraz from Australia, and I've forgotten the bottle, and I've been searching for years for it. But very often they'll say, oh, well, this is a spicy wine. And you drink it and you're like, it tastes kind of like every other wine I drink, right? And all of a sudden, this one time I drank this Australian Shiraz and they said, oh, it's going to be peppery. I swear to you, it was like they added spice to the wine. I'm like, this can't be real wine. Just so ridiculous. Fantastic wine. So, yeah, well, you can keep the yellowtail. Someone brought to a party a yellowtail reserve, and I couldn't stop laughing. Like, what is that? That's like premium Budweiser. So, anyways, so lots of opportunities to make money, guys. It's been really neat. So ask yourself, while we have these geopolitical tensions, they're not going to last forever. It's not the end of the world. What are you going to do to make money? Well, there are very, 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 very basic strategies you can use to make money. Would you like to know what they are? I'll give you 3 things. All right, well, I'm doing a weekend seminar at the Hyatt. It's $2,900. That's the normal price, but because you're my best friend, you can come for only $1,995. And I'll tell you the 3 greatest strategies to make $1,000,000% return guaranteed in 2016. Yeah. All right, here's what you do in all geopolitical risks. And I did this 5 years ago, I did this 10 years ago, I'll do it 5 years from now, I'll do it 10 years from now. It's just the normal thing to do. It's a risk-off scenario when there are geopolitical tensions, like war, for example. What you do is you buy U.S. treasuries, you buy Japanese government treasuries, right? And you buy gold. Okay? And that's it. And then when things stabilize, and they will stabilize, go back in the direction of central banking policy and that kind of stuff. Okay? Okay? U.S. government treasuries, Japanese government treasuries, and gold. Which is very weird, right? Because then you're like, but you're buying gold and U.S. dollar, right? Because if foreigners are going to buy U.S. treasuries, they need U.S. dollars, so the dollar will gain strength. If foreigners are going to buy Japanese government bonds, they're going to need Japanese yen, and the yen gets strong. But they also want like a safe haven, right? And so very often, for a lot of people, that's going to be gold. I knew it was the wrong one. Now, what about sort of secondary or tertiary currencies in that situation? Where else do you think institutional investors are going to move their money if they're getting out of their risky trades? Where else would they move their money? No, but bonds, we've covered that, but you know, what else? Okay. Okay, you're an oil sheik billionaire, and you need to cash out of your risky investments all over the world. You move your money back to your Swiss bank account. Well, it's the cliche, Mark, but you can see it's been strong during this entire collapse. So money is going back to Switzerland. I know it's a cliche and it's not as, doesn't hold up as much water as it used to, but it's still a fact, okay? And now let's say you're a billionaire in China. You're not a billionaire sheikh anymore in the Middle East. You're a billionaire Chinese businessman, right? All right. Okay. Where do you move your money? You don't have money in Switzerland. Where do you have your money? Singapore. Yeah, so I don't have that currency on this platform. I don't think we have it. But it's something that, I've paid attention to in the past. And Switzerland is, Singapore is now actually a larger hoard of foreign money. Oh, there it is. Than Switzerland. So unfortunately, it's USD versus Singapore dollar, but which both should be strong, right? And boy, this is slow today. So you can see U.S. dollar is clearly stronger than the Singaporean dollar, but it doesn't mean Singapore wouldn't be stronger than pound and euro and that kind of stuff, right? So I got a roll, yo. Thank you for your patience during the technical problems. I don't know, somebody up high smiled on us, and suddenly, even though I haven't been able to boot my computer for 7 hours, suddenly with my back turned while I'm setting up the laptop, it boots. Why? Why? I don't know why, but wow. At least it's our good karma, guys. I have technical problems for 7 hours. You show up and the world works. So I love working with you. You make the world a better place, and I like hanging with you. So thank you for being on my team. You're tall, you're thin, you're good looking. You make other people smile when you walk in the room. I love you, man. So tomorrow I'll be at FX Street. So I'll see you there. Take care, you hear? And for those on the trading team, I'll log into the desk, in the trading desk. So I'll see you if you want to talk. See you guys.